Yeah, excellent. Okay, so in terms of 2024 recruitment, there are two types of specialty training programme. So run-through training and uncoupled training programmes. Run-through programmes are those where you start at ST1 and you go right through to CCT, and then the uncoupled are ones where you have core training, so such as anaesthetics, and then you apply again in open competition for your highest specialty. If you're not sure which is which, the easy way to have a look at it is to see what letter goes before the T1. If it's S, it's run through. If it's a C, then it's core training and uncoupled. They're open to all eligible applicants. Recruitment is organised through a lead NHS England local office on behalf of all regions and participating nations, and details of those recruitment leads can be found on the Oriel recruitment system and also on our website. So in terms of the recruitment timeline for this year, round one recruitment is already open. It opened last week, and we close on the 23rd of November at 4 p.m. So if you are applying in this round, I would urge you not to leave it to the last minute. Every year we have 60% of all applications received in the last 72 hours of the application window. And when I tell you last year we had nearly 34,000 applications within that window, that's a significant amount coming in at the last minute. The system has been performance tested to make sure that it can cope with the load, but you might find that it's slower towards the end. So please don't be one of the 60%, be one of the 40% that does it earlier, because it does take time to do an application. In terms of planning your application, it's important you decide which specialty or specialties you want to apply for. You can apply for as many as you like, subject to eligibility. You should look at the person specs and ensure that you're eligible to make an application, and the person specs for all specialties are on our website. Familiarise yourself with the application period and how you access the application form, and ensure that you read all of the recruitment guidance associated with the specialty that you wish to apply for. So there's a generic applicant guidance which is on our website, and also specialties themselves will give you specific information about their process. So it's important that you read both of those. All applications will be completed through Oriel. So you should already have Oriel accounts from when you applied for your foundation training, but it might be that you need to re-register if you've changed your email address. You should ensure that you access your account regularly throughout the recruitment process. Although we send messages through Oriel and emails, because emails are going external to the system, we can't guarantee they're going to reach you because of trust firewalls or your own firewalls. So it's really important that you go back into Oriel regularly throughout your throughout the application period. Make sure that you read all supporting documentation before you commence an application, and pay particular attention to demonstrating the requirements of the person specification, because they're the areas you're going to get scored against. As I said before, make sure you allow plenty of time to complete and submit before the deadline, and anything that you need to upload to your application form, make sure that that is done before you try to submit. As with foundation, we run a special circumstances process for those that need to train in a particular region due to their special circumstances. We have less criteria than foundation. So our criteria are primary carer for someone with a disability, or a personal medical condition or disability where continuing treatment is needed in the current location. We don't have parental responsibility, and the reason for that is because we have so many different vacancies that it could be that in competitive areas you may have to have a child in order to be placed there. So we've made the decision and reviewed that this year that we won't have parental responsibility. However, from 2024 recruitment, so the round that's currently open, we will, if you're going through an adoption process, that will be accepted as a special circumstances criteria, because you are going to be limited to that area for the duration of that process. Competition for posts. So I mentioned we had over 33,000 applications in round one last year. Numbers are already looking like they're going to increase for this year. So consider the likely level of competition for posts. There will always be significantly more applicants than posts available. So you should be prepared to be flexible with your specialty choices. We have all of the previous year's competition ratios on our website. So there's a link in the presentation. I think you'll get a copy of these slides later on. But just for ease, I have also added it in my presentation here. So you can see the competition ratios there. I think small specialties like community sexual reproductive health has a competition ratio of 34, We always see that the surgical run-through specialties like cardiothoracic surgery there have high ratios, and neurosurgery is similar. So neurosurgery is 12.75. But what we have seen over recent years, particularly since the immigration rules have changed, is that competition ratios have increased across the board. So it's really important that you're flexible with your specialty choices and have a backup plan. This gives you an idea of, it's probably weird, I think, an idea of the applicant behaviour last year. So you can see that this is unique applicants within round one. 12,749 applicants only made one specialty application, so they only applied to one vacancy. 3,807 made two, and 1,761 made three. So across those three areas, you can see that the vast majority of people do not make more than 2 or 3 applications. So when you're looking at the competition ratios, those people are actually in contention for those posts, so the competition is really high. Going to finish with a summary of top tips. So as I said earlier, confirm you are eligible before you commence an application. Ensure you know who the lead recruiters are for the specialties you wish to apply for. So if you want to apply for a post in London, it's unlikely that London will be the lead recruiter. It could be someone anywhere in the country recruiting on behalf of all regions. So it's really important you have a look at the lead recruiters list to make sure you know who that is. Read all guidance before you start any application form. Complete and submit in plenty of time. Do not leave it to the last minute. If you don't meet the deadline, unless there is an actual technical issue, your application will not be accepted. There'll be no extension of the deadline for you. Be aware of the timelines and also when you're likely to hear from the recruitment team so that you can check into your real account around things like interviews and offers. And as I said, make sure you go in there regularly, because if the email doesn't reach you because of a firewall, then it's important that you go and see the message in the system itself.